Good morning and welcome to the Nerds and Nonsense podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan. With me as always is Randy, Kumar, and Adam. And today we're going to be discussing stores that have went out of business that we miss so dearly. Adam, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I think my pick would be, it's kind of a regional one, if you're from the Midwest. But
it was an Ohio-based place.
Yeah, so Hills. Hills, Hills. This was like the king of the 80s and 90s for me because, you know, if you wanted G.I. Joes, if you wanted Ninja Turtles, they had other stuff too.
They had all the best toys though.
Yeah, like they were a department store, but fuck all that other shit. Like I'm here for the toys.
Yeah, the toy department dwarfed the rest of the store.
Yeah, their motto was like where the toys are.
Yeah.
Right? So, and they had like great deals on everything. So if you went to like Walmart, the same figure at Hills is like $5. The one at Walmart is like $7. Not a big deal, like, but when you have an allowance of like $5 a week, that's kind of a big deal, right? So yeah, I mean, I got so many different action figures from Hills, but like just to walk in there. Can you imagine like walking into like AMC theaters, like that popcorn smell, like that snack bar? They had that. That was like the first thing that you smelled when you walked into Hills was like that fresh popcorn.
Typically, that was my favorite part of Hills because I grew up in the same area. But yeah, as a fat guy, the snack bar was my favorite. The hot dogs, the slushies, it was the hot pretzels, popcorn, all that stuff.
Yeah, so like, you know, you first walk into the store. You could grab whatever at the snack bar and just kind of wander around and look at shit. So it was one of those things that you didn't have to buy something every time. It was just an experience in itself, just to walk through there and like to go to like Walmart or Target now. It's like, okay, you know, it is what it is. But like back then, like it was like you were in awe. It was like going to the carnival, you know, and then you got to get action figures and. Yeah, it was just it's something that if it was still around, I would go in there and like literally feel the same way. Like a 7-year-old kid, like
you have that nostalgia trip of like.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my pick is Hills.
Hills.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. For me, I'm just gonna shoot off 3. So the first one that kind of gives me that same feeling was like the very first comic store that I ever went to when I had a part-time job working for my mom in her office in Lemon Grove. And there's a place called Top Flight Comics. And I just like walk like two businesses down after I would like, you know, I did janitor service for her office. I gave my paycheck, I'd go there, and that was where I first got like Age of Apocalypse comic books and like the Deadpool comic book. And like that was the coolest place. It was a mom and pop shop, and then eventually closed down. But I remember when I first went there, like the old lady who was there, like gave me like almost like a discount and some free stuff as well. I was like, that was so cool. So I really missed that place. It had to be like probably once I got to high school-ish. That was when they shut down.
Isn't that the best? Like you remember like one single comic book or one action figure, and you tie it to that store, and like you can revisit that memory. Like you remember it so well. Like and that's what we're looking for.
It's classic. I think but then I think it, you know, because there's not so many places, then the other things that were like the big box brands that stuck out for me. One was Radio Shack because they had like these little Tiger video games. That were, like,
Tiger Electronics, yeah.
I remember like for one of my birthdays, my dad got me a handful of those, and like I got a kick out of them. Like, and I think like that low tech experience was pretty cool. If you ever need like a wire or an adapter or anything like that for your show equipment, Radio Shack would have it. Like before Fry's Electronics became this huge thing. Gosh, is that store around still?
That's gone too.
I thought Radio Shack was still around.
No, it's gone too.
Wow.
Totally gone. Both of those places gone. Do you know what else is gone? Circuit City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that industry has been affected by the internet.
Yeah.
I have 2 that I have to say. One is back home. It was just a little corner store that we used to go to all the time when we were kids. It was Saks. Not Saks that had to be like the big, you know, rich people store. No, this was just a little corner market that we would go to get candy and Gatorade and.
Prior to Saks, it was called Campbell's, and then it was Saks, and then it was West Main Market.
Yeah, and then now it's a parking lot
Yeah.
for a church.
Wow.
Yeah, you can go in penny candy, baseball cards, like you could rent movies.
They would sell you the Sour Patch Kids and all that stuff were a penny each. But then the guy knew us, so he'd always give us like more.
And then they had the Epic, better than Gatorade, better than Powerade. All Sport.
Where you get the free ones and you just turn it into cap. You would walk out of there with 2 bottles with no caps, and then like a third one.
They had some sort of production issue where they issued too many free, 20-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
We were hitting like every 3 that you buy, we could get one.
I'd go and pay for one and leave with 3.
Snapple used to do that way. I remember when Snapple first came out. You get the cap and have a free one.
Something, yeah.
And my second one has to be San Diego here in San Diego. Now it's a park for homeless people.
Yeah. Goodness, because I think it used to be Planet Hollywood first, and then it became a Santa Moody.
Since I came out here, it was San Diego, but now it's, like I said, it's a fountain and a little park for homeless people. But I remember the first time I came to San Diego, there was a homeless person bathing in the fountain in front of it. That was something I'll never forget.
Sounds like San Diego.
San Diego was like 3 levels, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had escalators and stuff. I remember
That's
pretty
so
big.
much of a selection.
Because when we were kids, it was first a Planet Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like when Schwarzenegger
That was a long time
picture
ago.
on it.
Yeah.
And then once that shut down, there's so much business that closes, then you get Santa Moody.
Yeah.
It's strange that he let it happen when he was the governor here.
For me, it's Toys R Us. I mean, like, just walking in there. Yeah, right. Walking in there, you feel like a kid no matter what age you are. Just had you could stay in there for hours. They had video games, toys, cars, all kinds of things like that. Just somewhere to go. And then, like, now that I have kids of my own, I wish I could take them there too, just to see what I experienced as a kid. But it's unfortunate that it's not being around anymore. It's just something that we could share together. Because it's they could be with me and as a reminisce, and they could look at all the cool things to keep them busy too.
It's a symbol of childhood.
Yeah.
Didn't you go to Canada and there's still one there? Or something?
There's still some in Canada. I did go to Canada, and they are there, and that made me still feel happy. But I think they're still international as well, like in certain parts of Asia. But here, they're all gone. I mean, you have like comics and stuff. You have, we have our local collectible stores. Not that many, but they're all pretty much all in like department stores, like Target, Walmart, that kind of thing, But it's not the same, because if you go in those stores, there's like a one-stop shop kind of thing more than anything. Because if you go there, you get everything you need, and you might browse by the toy store. But then, it's more about the experience. Just going there and not knowing probably what's going to be there. It's just kind of going there, having a good time.
Selection of toys anyway.
Yeah.
You go to a Walmart, you have like one aisle of Legos, whereas you go to like a Toys R Us Lego section, they have a whole section. It's like you're more likely to find more sets.
Yeah, and to your point, like you would go into Toys R Us or like Hills back in the day, and nowadays if you walk into like Target or Walmart, you're looking for one specific figure or one specific line. There's like 1, 2 of that action figure. Like back in the day, like there would be like 10, 15, 20. Like they would go on clearance because they had so many. Like they overproduced, but at the same time, it isn't like this rat race nowadays where like you want something and you're fucked because someone went out and bought all 10 of them and now they're on eBay. So you could actually walk into a store and get something.
Right. It's weird when I think about like toy stores as a kid when I didn't have like my own money. Like it a lot of times reminds me of all the things my parents were gonna say. No, do you have money for that? But I think as I got older and I got like my own budget to buy things, then like my toy stores became like Suncoast is a perfect example. Like if you wanted the coolest McFarlane toys, they were a bit more mature than like for little kids. You go to Suncoast, or even like San Diego, and you find like the good stuff there. If you wanted to get that one animation, like you'd go to a place like that. So I think my teenage years were like my teenage young adult years were like more of my years of like where I had that money to play the way I wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's the way now, like for kind of like more me and Adam that collect stuff too, because now that we have our own money, we kind of use it to, buy. But, of course, there's always online as well. It's like, but, actually the hunt is kind of like the thrill of it. You go and look for it, whether it's going to a store or going to a convention, kind of like that. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying, online has kind of killed the vibe of actually going to a mall, which is sadly slowly dying as well, because it's like, just being the experience of going to a mall, it's kind of just seeing it there for yourself, going to that experience instead of just doing like a couple clicks, it comes into your mailbox. Yeah.
It's funny. I think what we miss in the brands that are no longer around. Give us good examples of business models that were great experiences we can bring back in some sort of way with a tweak or modification for what we have. I think one of the issues, like when I go to Westfield shopping centers, like they're not updating their experience. Like honestly, if you had hotels, if you had like residential things there, and like even more boutique things, and you balanced out, like it'd be a great place. Imagine getting out of college, moving into like an apartment that had like great shopping right beneath it. You know, you go to like whatever store you want, and you know, you think about like the like Hills. It's a great experience. If you had more stores that open up and like, okay, we have popcorn and we have things for kids and all these other models of business that used to exist, I think it could be brought back. It could be brought back.
It just depends on the right investors, the right people behind. I mean, if we all had money, that'd be a great idea to incorporate. I mean, like why not? I mean, you could solve a lot of the housing issues. Maybe more affordable, food and all kinds of resources that people need. So.
It's a money issue. Like the reason why they're investors is because that one person doesn't have enough money on their own, so people put the money together so they have enough to build what they want.
Yeah.
And you just have to have that vision together to put our money in the same bucket to do the same sort of thing, bring back what we missed.
Yeah.
There's one store that I miss. I think it still exists in like other parts of Ohio and like Michigan and stuff. But Meyer, 21st Street in Newark, Ohio. So like, kind of the same thing as Hills was like. It was a department store. You could get shoes, clothes, action figures, basketball cards, groceries, like whatever. But this store was so dynamic. Like they carried like CDs and stuff too. So like if the new Eminem dropped, you could go there after midnight and pick it up. Like I joked with my buddy the other day, it's like the only store that I can think of where you can get an explicit DMX CD, a loaf of bread, and a fucking shotgun all in the same experience. Like where else could you do that? But
That was also the store where a dog followed us in, and then they had to escort it out, and we laughed all the time.
But yeah, I mean, like, they had, I got countless shoes there, like, for baseball, baseball bats, like, they had a great selection of, like, model cars and other, like, models you could build, sports cars in general, toys, like, it's just not the same anymore. Obviously, we're almost 40 years old, so it's kind of sad to expect that same experience, but that's another one where it's like, man.
Plus, we also don't live there anymore, so it's like every time you go home, it's less and less like it was how you remembered it.
Yeah, like they say, you can never go home. It's
It's true.
you're physically there, but it's not what it was in 1991.
San Diego's that way. Like the San Diego that both of you know is totally from the San Diego that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Like was it Farrell's ice cream parlor? That place is completely gone.
Yeah, it's like to go back on what we said, like to bring back our child. I think it would be extremely difficult, and I don't think any amount of money would do it because it's what we feel, and only a certain amount of individuals feel that way. It's like
you can't bring it back, but you can reinvent it.
But
Yeah.
you can get a flux capacitor and go back there.
Or maybe maybe we'll do that.
yeah. So I mean, it's difficult. I mean, it's like what we want, but not necessarily what everybody else wants. But it's I guess we just keep the memories with us, right? But it's it's good to have those memories and to remember them fondly. But it's like nowadays, I think it's just what's more productive and more efficient, I guess, especially with online shopping.
But markets have their trends. And I think the key thing is like what we're really seeing is that people want to have diversity experiences when they go out, which is why Yard House has been very successful at Mission Valley Mall when, we would think just another huge store should have gone into that place.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to find is like malls may stick around, but they won't be the big shopping centers that they used to. They're going to be places where you're going to have all sorts of services and daycare and pet care and residences and groceries and everything like that. They're going to become more like mini cities.
Yeah, what I've noticed in a lot of them too, especially the Grossmont Center, when we go to, there's like a gymnasium for kids. There's like, I don't know, church services now too. It's like it's a lot of open areas for people to use. I mean, it's like why not? I guess people walk through the mall, they might need it, so why not have it there? I guess it makes sense. People walk the mall, it's a lot of foot traffic. Maybe rent might be cheaper than saying if you rent it out a separate building on your own. So
yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point because like there's a lot of malls you go to where they haven't filled the space, so you walk through and like if there's 40 stores, like 17 of them are like still in business, so you get this creepy like you're in the Walking Dead kind of vibe where it's like that could be filled up with, like you said, like, you know, place for kids to play, like a barbershop, like whatever. Like, just don't have it be this weird fucking every other place is closed type deal.
Because the real estate business is really about who can you get in, who's going to keep on paying your rent.
Yeah.
If you're like, well, this section's only for a place to sell clothes that nobody wants to buy, like, well, that makes you a dumb investor, right? Like, you know, put into something like, hey, let's get a smoke shop in here. Like, these people are going to pay for it, you know.
Yeah.
So I got to bring up one that we all can relate to, and, you know, whatever brand.
Did you just hit puberty?
Yeah. I'm ready to go. But what about, you know, one of the kings of, well, they went out of business and they had a chance to buy Netflix, Blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the you know, video rental industry and like the experience that you got. Once again, we're paying for experience, like to go in on a Friday or Saturday night and be able to pick out 2 or 3 movies, like with your allowance or whatever it may be. It was like, all right, I'm making decisions here. I'm 9 years old and I got, you know, these decisions to make. And the experience came with that is
a great experience.
Yeah. I think that reflects on a lot on what I do today, because I'm like the type of person, like, I don't really want to watch it if I, you know, okay, yeah, you can wait for it to come out on, you know, streaming service, or you can watch it with friends. I'm all about the experience, watching it with friends and being there in person, going, it's like, if I want to get something, I go to a convention, I go to the store to get it, because that's who I am. I like the experience. Like the Blockbuster was one of those stores that did that as well. You could pick and choose. You could pick a crappy, like, you know, C-rated movie, but it was all about the experience. I mean, like, I'm not looking about to see, like, I have to go get the best kind of material or anything like that. It's just kind of going to see what is there, you know. It was just being in the environment itself. That was the fun part about it.
It's kind of cool to be able to, like, I mean, generally speaking, with my family, we pick like a family movie where we watch it as a family, and then, you know, okay, Adam, this is your movie, and my sisters would pick theirs, or like, you know, you would say, I don't want my own movie, I want a video game, right? So you try to, like, beat that video game in 2 or 3 days or whatever, and usually it didn't work out for me, maybe Jonathan.
Or you see if it sucks, but, you know,
yeah,
it's like, do I want to buy this before? Test this before I buy it.
I just think nowadays people are just like saying, oh, you know what, that movie looks bad, or that doesn't look like fun or anything like that. I'm like, well, I'm asking you to go or to do these things because I'm all about the experience. I mean, it's like, if it's bad, then we'll experience it together. We can laugh and talk about it. If it's good, like, how fun was that? You know, it's kind of like, that's what I think a lot of the new generation nowadays, they're behind their iPads and technology too much. Sometimes they don't go out and experience the real world. You know, it's kind of a sad thing. It's like, that's probably the thing that's going to be gone next. It's like,
theoretically, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
You kind of get like if you go to 7-Eleven or Walmart, they have like Redbox, so
Yeah.
you can kind of, it's kind of like you want a steak, but you have to settle for beef jerky. So, you know, Redbox is beef jerky, Blockbuster's a steak, and like that's.
I wouldn't say Blockbuster's a mistake. I want to say, like, actually seeing a movie in theater.
Yeah.
The crowd reaction, but you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, though, like, you know, we're speaking when we're kids, it's like you weren't going to get that $5-10 every week from your parents for the new movie. So it's like there's stuff that you missed that you now have to.
Plus, if you pick a bad movie, your parents are going to take your allowance next week. They're like, this kid can't make good decisions.
Gosh, I remember, like, I'm sure a lot of kids when I was younger, because I'm an older kid who I had an older sister who really, like, I have an older sister who had, like, but she had very high production understanding as kids, that if I picked a bad movie, I would hear how bad it was when I watched it.
She puts you in headlock, and you can't pick these movies.
In an emotional way.
Get better taste.
I think I saw Three Ninjas one summer. We spent money on that, and she was like, this was the worst movie.
Whoa.
Hey,
Three Ninjas was a good movie.
Rocky loves Emily.
The ones they made afterwards sucked.
The first one was pretty bad. I think
No, the first one was good.
We
The
saw
rest
a
was
double feature. I think it was Three Ninjas, and we also saw Death Becomes Her. And Death Becomes Her definitely beat Three Ninjas. Death
I don't know about that one.
People getting shot and coming back to death and like heads around.
Did it have Mr. Miyagi in it?
No, it was the guy who. It was that old Asian guy who he was in Tremors and he got it was that guy. It wasn't.
Yeah.
was it James Bond or James?
Something like that.
The
guy that just got the
part, like the eye that doesn't open up all the way.
Yeah, that was the Japanese grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
That was
probably
one
different
of
guy.
my sister did not let me live that down.
I love that movie. So your sister is wrong. Kamara's sister, you are wrong about Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
Although her PhD is like,
I don't care. I will fight you.
You guys should, when she comes back, watch it again and see how she feels now.
I will put her in a headlock and make her watch this movie until she likes
we
it.
both agree even more that
Yeah, she'll probably even resent you even more now.
Death of a Conqueror was definitely one of the best movies I ever saw as a little kid. I was like, wow. And of course, you had what's the Italian actress who's like barely wore anything. She was amazing. But yeah, Three Ninjas had none of that.
If Three Ninjas had nudity, would it have been better? You think?
If you had like an adult,
If Emily got, well, no, Emily can't get naked. She's underage.
Ronnie,
come look at me through my window.
Oh goodness.
I remember, like I said, you can't see every movie in the theater, especially rated R ones, but me and my cousin went to rent Demolition Man back in like 94, because it came out in 93.
Yeah.
I was like so hyped to see that shit, because like just watching like the commercials, the trailers back in the day, and I knew I was 10 years old and not going to be able to see this in theater, so we secretly went and got it from the video store, and it was like, still holds up to me as one of the greatest kind of action, goofy movies of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has nudity in it because there's a video call where the girl's butt naked.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, those are kind of like those experiences you don't have today because there's spoilers, there's people upload stuff online, it's just easily accessible. It's kind of like the thrill of the hunt of getting that and like being able to watch it when you're not of age and it'd be like that. And now it's just kind of like everyone's just with a click and so that you
Because
can
there's
get.
a social experience that existed. I think like probably one reason why like Three Ninjas was not interesting because I think probably at the time my sister was probably about 13.
Now Kamar's going to get put
So
so
we could go see like a PG-13 movie. I could go along. I think like Death of the Kings when they came out, that was a PG-13 movie. So it was amazing that like my grandma let us go see that because I definitely wasn't 13 yet.
Yeah.
Which elevated my standard because like okay, I'm hanging out with my 13-year-old sister watching like all the movies that like my other friends couldn't watch because they're not old enough and their parents were taking to it. And that's like a crazy like social sort of thing, but like when you're alone by yourself doing whatever the heck you want without having any sort of interaction, like kids don't understand like what these things mean in the context of being with other people.
I gotta give a shout out to your grandma. She is the goat going to the movie. So
Yes, she
we
was.
went to see Beavis and Butthead Do America in like 1996. She brought a fucking trash bag like she was Santa Claus over her shoulder.
They didn't stop
They
her.
didn't say shit. She just walked in confident as hell.
This
like-
little 90-pound Irish woman carrying a fucking trash bag of candy.
Yeah, it's like, dude, this is the greatest shit of all time. Like, just being old and not giving a fuck, like, you get away with everything. So,
She was part Irish. She was just a little old lady with a bag of candy who had that voice because she smoked for so long. No one's going to stop me from taking this candy into this movie theater.
yeah, that's like some of the things that, we're just never going to experience again. So.
Well, yeah, it's because she's dead now.
Yeah.
She's gone for 13 years. I mean, if she was still around, I'm sure she'd still be taking us to the movies and bringing candy.
Yeah. Rest in peace, your
But
grandma.
now we have Vince's girl who brings candy. She's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Shout out to this girl.
Yeah.
We love you because you bring candy to us
Yeah.
and give us more diabetes at the movies now.
But yeah, I think experiences are everything because I remember going to see Star Wars Episode 1 in 1999 and like me and my buddy Alan went to the midnight showing, which like they didn't really do back then. They kind of started with this, at least in my small town. So like we're waiting all night to see Star Wars and like everyone's like dressed up like it's Comic-Con, like waiting and we file. Like things got really rowdy in the theater. People like throwing shit. And, movie started. Everyone was having a good time and like. You kind of forgot that the movie sucked a little bit, and like you just went away with that experience. And the next day, we got to go late for school, and we were tired as hell. But it was like the only thing we talked about at that time. And then once we kind of digested the movie, we were like, yeah, that sucked. But the experience was great.
Yeah, it's so weird these days because like especially with COVID and everything, like I don't know if we're gonna see lines for movies and things like that like we used to. Like just everything's reservation and check in, and it's so different. Like the generation now won't understand the enthusiasm when you see like 1970s Star Wars.
Yeah, there's no mad dash for a seat because everyone has like assigned seats. So it's like, first come first serve. It's like, no, I can get there like 1 minute before the movie starts and be an asshole and walk over you.
Right.
It's like, get there at least 5 minutes before.
Do you remember that time we went to the movies? It was, I think it was at Rosemont Center. It was before they started doing like the assigned, and Byron was with us, and I went in and got seats, and then there was someone left their shirt on a seat.
Oh yeah.
And I just threw it, and then I just threw it like 4 or 5 seats down, and we were all sitting down, and this guy and his girl comes up, we had these seats saved. I'm like, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't just throw a piece of clothing on like the best seats in the theater, and then go back to the snack.
It's gotta be like one version.
Yeah, you have to leave a person. That's
aggressive market here. So.
yeah. So then he I think Byron left something and went to get snacks because I was saving seats. The guy like moved Byron, so I would do that. He's a Marine. He'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
I think where the market's going is that people are going to have more tailored entertainment experiences where not only maybe you think about how karaoke is. You go to karaoke, you get your own room. You can have as many friends as you want. You can have service that brings in like drinks or food or whatever, and that's how that experience is. Like downtown, there's the newest theater, like Theater Box or something like that, and you get to sit like in a sofa, and have food brought to you, and it's getting closer to that sort of thing. So I think in the future is you're going to get an entertainment room box style, bring as many friends as it has capacity for, and you probably choose seeing a brand new premiere movie or doing karaoke or playing video games. I feel like that's probably where the future's going to go.
Yeah, because the more people you can involve, the better. I mean, like if it's just limited to just people that might like that, then you're not going to appeal to anybody. So that's a good idea.
I think we're so individual because we know we have our niches, and the market still doesn't always recognize those niches. I'm sure, I'm not a furry, but I'm sure there's a set of friends who are furries. They want to go out and do their furry things, but there's no furry place for them to do their furry things. But if you have
I don't know what a furry is.
I don't know what a furry is either. Yeah.
It's those people who dress up as animals and bang.
Oh, okay.
So, nonetheless, though, if that's your shtick, that's your shtick. You might want to have a place that's open enough and flexible enough for you to go and do that kind of experience.
So this theater box could be like a popcorn orgy blowjob fest.
Well, because once the door closes, as long as you put everything back and clean it up the right way.
No. They have someone who comes in and cleans up the loads afterwards.
Goodness.
I'm not cleaning up those loads.
You got
Especially if it's someone else's.
buttery butter room back there.
Is this butter or is this cum? Wait.
Maybe it's both.
Buttery cum.
Butter not cum.
It's flavor.
So you guys think that with things the way they're going now, whether it's gonna kind of take away more of these experiences for us? Is it gonna improve it? What do you guys think?
Well, we gotta see how things go, post-COVID.
Yeah.
Because at any point it could spread back up. The government loves to pull that out on us and be like, oh, you guys gotta put masks on, you gotta social distance, you gotta take all the fun out of your life.
Everything cycles back. Like whatever, people essentially try to buy back their youth. So if these experiences go away, we're going to be in a position to kind of recreate it and bring them back. So it just depends, with everything at our fingertips, with Netflix and 1,000 streaming services, how do people want to see stuff? Do you really want to be all alone in your house watching Fast and Furious 25 by yourself?
Nah, I think I'd rather just watch the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that because due to COVID, people are quickly to go out and do these things because they were held back for so long. They were secluded for so long that they weren't able to go out and go see the newest movie, go eat at their favorite restaurant. So, yeah, it might come back, but then once it gets back to normal, will it stay that way or will it just change?
Normal. I think we're definitely in a period of transformation. So now all these businesses that only thought delivery was for pizza, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
When they probably should have realized that decades ago, but it took us getting to now. Even the thing about how we work, now we have managers who are I don't have to micromanage. Yeah, you never needed to micromanage.
The problem is now that, with everything being delivered, gas prices are through the roof.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay more to just have stuff delivered than you would get it yourself.
But then there might be drone delivery coming up soon as well.
Yeah. It's just
You can't order a face. It's just like,
Oh, no.
Yeah, so.
The batteries on those drones better be good, because if it like drops my pizza because it ran out of juice, I'm gonna be very upset.
Yeah.
drops on the roof, Breaking Bad style.
Yeah.
Cool. And any other closing statements on places that we might miss?
I was thinking, maybe restaurants from our childhood that we missed. Shout out to Wapalona in Heath, Ohio, that is still there, but I can't get any one of my friends to ship me food from there because they all suck.
You know what? I just realized we all here at the table probably mutually miss Noodle World.
I think you're talking about Nozomi more than
Well,
anything.
Noodle World up in Pasadena for the.
But they only ate it there once. It's still around. I mean, it's like, but
that one was gone. That one was the best one.
I think you're probably referring to more like mom and pop stores because there's franchises that come and go, but I think more mom and pop stores they kind of reach out to you more because it's maybe they remember you more, they give you more, that it's better taste than anything else.
I do miss Nozomi.
Yeah.
But Nozomi before they got like all trendy and loud music all the time.
Oh yeah, now it's just a sushi restaurant.
That's what I hate.
Yeah.
Like places that have to play loud music while you eat, and it's like you can't even hear the people at your table talk.
Yeah, it's so you ignore the bad food.
One thing that I miss, but I wouldn't really partake, but for my kid, but like, most McDonald's used to have like the play area. Now it's like,
the play
get
place.
your cancer and get the fuck out of our restaurant. Like you can't even have fun anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
no thanks.
Yeah, I think what I miss, Noodle World, I don't know if it's still around, but I think the last time we went it was different, was the fact that you could have different sorts of, you could have pho that was like tom yum style, or like Thai noodles that were ramen style, or ramen styles that were pho.
All these different noodle styles that you can switch
it's
them
still
up.
up there. It's more like in the LA area.
No,
than
but
anything.
not in Pasadena anymore though, right?
Not at that location,
Oh, no,
but
okay.
it's still around. But it's like I've been to another one. It wasn't as good. I mean,
But it wasn't the same, right?
Yeah,
It was
so-
mind-blowing. Yeah.
It tastes better when you were a kid, though.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
does.
So what fast food's gone that's not there anymore? Fast food seems to last, I don't know.
yeah, because it's quick and convenient, and
Yeah.
it's easily accessible. So.
I think that's
I think that concludes another episode of the Nerds and Nonsense podcast. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, and tell your friends and your family and anyone else you know, anyone you encounter, just tell them about us. We can always use more followers. Thank you. Adam, you want to
Yeah.
say
Remember to stay nerdy, San Diego, and beyond.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
See you guys.